It's morning in Los Angeles and it is morning in America. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my political thought for today on Wednesday. All right, I am very, very happy that this has finally happened. Finally, President Trump has been nominated for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize. Everyone is asking why. The reason he was nominated is because of the deal between the UAE and Israel to normalize relations. Now, full disclosure, just so people know, the UAE and Israel, how can I explain this? You know how you have a friend, you may have had a friend one time, and then just out the blue one day, they're like, I'm engaged. And you're like, engaged? I didn't even know you were dating anyone. That's sort of the situation with the UAE and Israel. The UAE and Israel were already dealing with each other. It just wasn't publicized. But then the Trump administration came in and made it more, helped them make it more official, helped them make it an engagement, an official engagement. And that's what's happening now with them normalizing relations. But before the Trump administration came along, the UAE and Israel had some type of relationship and they were building something there. It's just the Trump administration helped give that extra push to make it more official. Because people may not know this when it comes to President Trump. President Trump does not want all these endless wars, whether it's in the Middle East, whether they're in Africa, whether they're in Asia, whether they're wherever. President Trump doesn't want any conflicts. He doesn't want the soldiers having to fight or police in countries. That's one thing he doesn't want. That's why he worked so hard when he was dealing with North Korea. Because when he came into office, former President Obama told President Trump the largest threat, the biggest thing on the plate would be North Korea. And if there had been another person in office, it's a possibility that the United States would have been at war with North Korea. But President Trump is like, okay, let's talk. Because in his eyes, it doesn't cost anything to talk. He's like, if it doesn't work out, if we can't come to an agreement, fine. But at least we can try. And that's why he did the peace summit and then he did the second talk as well. He crossed over the DMZ line too, which was very interesting. And that in DMZ, demilitarized zone line between North and South Korea, for those who don't know. And that was a big deal. He was working hard to create peace with North Korea and also to create and normalize relations between North and South Korea. Because South Korea, obviously, they don't want to be in this adversarial relationship with their neighbor. Now, as for troops all over the Middle East, for those who may not know, the United States is in the process of drawing down troops in Afghanistan. The announcement, if it hasn't been made, is about to be made. The United States is preparing to remove troops from Iraq as well. President Trump does not want soldiers in these endless wars. That's why that hit piece that was sent out by The Atlantic, which was a total lie. Everyone knows that. I briefly went over that before, where they were saying that President Trump called, fallen soldiers and hurt soldiers losers and suckers. I knew that was a lie, because if he didn't care about the soldiers, he wouldn't work as hard as he does for the soldiers. as I mentioned before, when he was speaking with Kim Jong-un of North Korea and doing the negotiations, one of the things he asked for was for the remains of U.S. soldiers in the previous war, because some of those remains were in North Korea. If you're negotiating with someone, you don't want to ask for more than you have to. You only have a few things that you can ask for. So you don't want to waste it on something that you don't care about. If he didn't care about fallen soldiers, that ask would have never been on the table for North Korea, saying, hey, is there any way that you can get the remains of some of our fallen soldiers and send them back to the United States so we can identify them and give some of their relatives closure, which some remains were sent back to the United States. You can look it up and verify it. Some remains were sent back. He didn't have to do that. And if he didn't care, he wouldn't have asked for that. But as for the Middle East, with the UAE and Israel, that is a big deal. Also, he hasn't jumped in any other wars within the Middle East. The only thing President Trump assigned to the military was to take out ISIS. That was it. There were some missiles fired into Syria, but he didn't go full throttle into Syria. And some people wanted him to, but he didn't. And that's why the upper echelons of the military, they don't like him, because he doesn't go full throttle and go into wars. He's the only president, I believe, in modern history that hasn't dragged us into a needless war. So that alone, the reason he was nominated was because of the UAE and Israel agreement. However, the other things surrounding his administration throughout the years, with North and South Korea, with drawing down the troops in the Middle East, with not creating needless wars, those things help buttress the nomination, him being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. So if someone says that President Trump doesn't deserve to be nominated, as one of the people who is part of the commission has said, there have been people nominated and have won for less than what President Trump has actually done. So he definitely deserved to be nominated. It is long overdue that he should be nominated. I'm happy that he's nominated. So that was good news to wake up to this morning. And I thought that everyone who didn't know would like to know, and those who may already know might like to hear my political thought on it. So that's what you have. ThePurpleElephantShow.com is the main podcasting platform. Also, feel free to follow on Parler so we can parlay, The Purple Elephant Show. On Instagram, The Purple Elephant Show. Facebook.com/The Purple Elephant Show. And then on Twitter, @RealTPES. And now the show is on BitChute, which I'm figuring it out slowly but surely, but it's The Purple Elephant Show on BitChute. And I feel like I'm missing a platform. I don't know why. I just do. But also, if you listen to the podcast, you can listen on Spotify, Apple, Google Play. This program is on several podcasting platforms. But thepurpleelephantshow.com will take you to the main one. All right. So I've done that, gotten all the housekeeping out the way. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. I'm having a much better day than yesterday. I'm on schedule. So that's a good thing. And to everyone who has been listening and supporting and liking and sharing and subscribing, and if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button followed by the notification bell. If you're watching on Daily Motion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That way you will know when I upload new videos. Thank you again to everyone for your support. I sincerely appreciate it. Have an amazing day. Be blessed.